Hey guys, this is your host Eric. Today we are going to watch action genre movie called Redemption. Spoilers ahead, turn on your subtitle, I greatly appreciate your support. Enjoy the video. On a cold February night in London's back streets, two thugs terrorize homeless people who are trying to sleep inside one of the cardboard boxes. While hiding their dope in her mouth, Isabel warns Joey not to fight back. They try to flee, but the thugs stop them and take the dope when one of them starts unzipping. Joey headbutts Isabel's jacket, the thug restraining him, and they try to flee. Isabel escapes, but Joey is thoroughly beaten before he can. He climbs to the roof of a building, prices it, opens a window, jumps in, and looks around. He's landed in an upscale apartment where the owners aren't present, so he spends the night. Meanwhile, one of the thugs confronts Isabel with a knife. Joey takes a shower, shaves his hair, and leaves the apartment looking halfway decent. On his way out, the phone rings and goes to voicemail, where he learns that the apartment's owner, Damon, is in New York and won't be back until October 1st. Joey settles in and sorts through the mail. He discovers a newly issued debit card with a pin, so he goes to an ATM, withdraws cash, and binges. Joey is walking through London at night, recalling his time in Afghanistan. He walks into a homeless shelter where Sister Christina is serving soup and says he's looking for Isabel. Christina recognizes Joey and inquires as to where he obtained the clothes. He doesn't say anything, but he gives her £500 and tells her to treat herself. The next day, Christina discusses the gift with the convent's Mother Superior, who tells her to put the money in one of their funds. Christina asks if she can keep a portion of the money to purchase something for which she has been praying. The head of the household does not agree, so she goes to the theater to purchase a ballet ticket. The ticket salesman informs her that all tickets have been sold out except for one, a box ticket for the farewell show on October 1st for £500. Joey awakens from a nightmare and realizes he is hallucinating when he sees hummingbirds flying around his apartment and a man being hung from them. He goes to the soup kitchen and requests antibiotics from Christina, but she tells him to go to the emergency room. He explains that he can't because he's been evading the court-martial since leaving the special forces because there will be no forgiveness. Christina shows mercy and asks what he requires. He claims to have 2 broken ribs as well as an infection that will kill him if it spreads to the bone. She gets him antibiotics and pain relievers and informs him that she has inquired about Isabel. He wonders how she knows about Isabel and if he did anything stupid recently. Christina realizes he can't remember, but she doesn't bring up the £500, and she tells him Isabel isn't coming for food. Back at the apartment, Joey flushes his booze and takes his antibiotics religiously. He discovers the keys to Damon's black Mercedes and drives around the city posting posters with Damon's phone number for Isabel to call. Isabel leaves him a voicemail, telling him not to look for her and not to worry. She claims she has agreed to work for the thugs for a few weeks in order to save up for a deposit on a place up north. A man in an expensive suit with a scar above his eye meets a thug who stabbed Isabel. They walk into a parcel delivery store late at night, and the man spots 3 blondes. Isabel is one of them. It turns out she's working as a call girl at the thugs' underground brothel. Joey returns to the apartment with groceries on a sunny March afternoon. He's making himself a healthy beverage. When you are buzzed at. When he does not respond, a woman's voice declares that she saw someone enter and that she will call the police. Joey opens the door and inquires about his identity. As a result, he informs her that he is one of Damon's boyfriends. He claims Damon told him to spend the summer there and get his life back together. Joey is working in a Chinese restaurant and severing Damon's debit card. He works out on the roof and acts as an unpaid bouncer when there's trouble at the Chinese restaurant. The head waiter summons him one night to get rid of a group of guys who are getting. When he leads the men outside, they become agitated, and one of them attempts to punch him. Joey takes care of the guys without breaking a sweat, and the restaurant owner asks the head waiter who he is. Mr. has hired Joey. Choi is a driver who also helps him with his dirty work. He's making a lot of money by delivering dope and collecting payments for Mr. Choi, who is establishing new rules in the neighborhood. One night, a delivery man arrives at the soup kitchen to deliver a large number of pizzas to the homeless. When he says that the order was paid for by Joey, Christina realizes it's not a typo. Joey began ordering takeout for the homeless in July after that. Joey follows Dawn into a grocery store and catches her eye. She's enraged because he's dressed up in an expensive suit while she and his daughter live on £25 per week. She tells him she lost her job and asks what he's been up to, and he tells her he's been fighting. She starts throwing things at him, but he stops her and hands her a wad of cash, telling her that there's a lot more where that came from. Christina discovers a pile of boxes and a dress outside the convent, along with a note inviting her to visit. She walks over to Joey, who is grilling on the street behind the Chinese restaurant. She tells him that this is very strange and asks if he has any psychological issues, which he does not deny. She informs him that she has news and shows him a photograph of a girl discovered in the river. She claims that the police approached her because they needed someone to assist them in identifying the girl. He doesn't want to look at the photo, but he does and immediately recognizes Isabel. Joey sets fire to the photograph and sits down to eat his steak. He asks if one of those rich guys killed Isabel, and Christina confirms that the police believe she was murdered by a client. In a fit of rage, Joey throws over a table, which irritates Christina. She accuses him of being a hypocrite for complaining about Isabel when the autopsy revealed dope in her system, and he is the one who is. Christina tells him after he's calmed down that he gave her money and she spent it. She claims to have sold some of her belongings and given him the proceeds. Thugs are causing havoc with homeless people in an alley, but Joey is waiting for them and asks if they remember him. When one of them pulls out a knife, Joey pulls out a spoon, and the larger thug looks concerned. He beats them up while questioning them about who killed Isabel. He is described by the smaller thug, a city boy in his 30s with a scar above. Christina runs into Joey at a photo gallery while wearing the dress he bought her. When he sees her, he is taken aback, and she notices him, so she tells him that she wore the dress because it is the only one she has. Christina is nervous as she sips champagne and informs Joey that she hasn't eaten and may pass out. She says she's there for information about Isabel's case, and he describes the man who killed her. They leave the gallery and run down the street after an agent at the private showing asks them who they are. Christine is buzzed and flirting with Joey. When she asks when Damon will return, he says October 1st, the same day as the ballet concert. She says it's fate, and they kiss before she leaves. Damon is leaving for work the next morning when his neighbor approaches him in the parking lot and inquires how things are going. She remarks that he appears to be a different person and inquires whether he is exclusively gay. He claims to be attracted to nuns lately, which perplexes and amuses her. When the cops arrive at the soup kitchen, they ask Christina if she knows where they can find Joey Jones. He's making a name for himself on the streets, doing dirty work, and they're aware of his ties to the homeless. When she sees Joey later, she tells him she had to lie to the cops and that he hasn't changed at all. He asks her what the police said when she gave them Isabel's killer's description. She claims they laughed it off because they are more interested in learning about him than in investigating the murder. Christina asks Joey what happened when she got drunk on the way back to the convent. He is surprised that she doesn't remember and informs her that she requested that he kiss her, so he did it because he wanted to, and she asks him why. He tells her to look in the mirror and says it's a stupid question. Christina lets down her guard and tells Joey that when she was a child, she murdered her gymnastics instructor because he raped her 17 times, beginning when she was. Because she was so young, she was sent to a convent rather than prison. She tells him she's never told that story to anyone else. Joey responds by telling her that when he left the military, he simply took off his uniform and ran towards the convent. Christina's mother superior inquires as to why she applied for the mission in Sierra Leone. Christina claims that Africa has always been a part of her life plan and that she has asked permission to move it forward because London has too many distractions. She informs the mother superior that she is ready to leave at any time after the 1st of the month. Joey's boss takes him to see Madame Choi at his request. Joey inquires about violent men who pay for girls, to which she responds that she does not deal with them. They're on her list of violent people. He describes Isabel's assailant, and she confirms that she recognizes him. She promises to reveal the man's identity in exchange for a favor. The man with the scar above his eye is roughhousing a young woman who was obviously not expecting it. Another young woman in the house hears the commotion and enters the room, where she notices the man's coat hanging outside in the hallway. She rummages through his pockets and discovers an invitation to a rooftop cocktail party addressed to Max. Joey fetches a truck that transports stowaway migrant workers from Madame Choi to a warehouse. The warehouse employee pays him, and Joey asks the employee for the information he requested while counting. The man claims that it is on its way. Joey examines Max's invitation to the rooftop cocktail party. It's October 1st, and Christina goes to the park because Joey has asked her to meet him there to photograph him for his daughter. He says he wants her to have photographs of him as a normal man, a good man, so that she will remember him when she is older. Christina inquires if he will not see her. He says he doesn't think he'll be this way for much longer. Christina is worried and wonders why he won't dress like this. He isn't. They go out for coffee, and she asks Joey to send her a few of the photos so she can take them to Africa with her. She says she's leaving tomorrow and wants to go on a wild ride in London with him. Joey gives her a friendly smile. They end up at Damon's apartment and have an intimate encounter. Damon returns home and tries to open the door, but he is unable to do so because the door is locked from the inside. They dash out the back, down the fire escape, and onto the street, where he tells her he has enough money in his bag to start over somewhere. Christina intervenes, telling him that if he wants to be a good man, he must be a good man. She kisses him passionately and invites him to the ballet. Joey is torn tonight at 7 o'clock as he watches her walk away. When Joey arrives at Don's house, his daughter answers the door, but she has no idea who he is. He sets the money bag down and tells her it's for her mother, then hands her the envelope of photos and tells her it's for her. Christina waits outside the ballet for Joey, but he does not appear. Instead, he goes to the rooftop cocktail party, where he meets Max and strikes up a conversation. Max becomes concerned and inquires about Joey, but Joey refuses to answer and instead throws him off the rooftop in full view of the other guests. As Christina is leaving the ballet, she notices Joey passed out on the side of the road, holding a booze bottle. He wakes up and tells her that when he's sober and healthy, he hurts people. He begins to cry, and she consoles him. Christina opens a letter from Joey on her way to the airport the next morning. He tells her in the letter that he gave Damon the money he stole plus extra for rent. He claims he left the boys at the homeless mission with some pizza money and gave the police the names of the human smugglers. He tells her that he was only here for one summer and that he's glad he got to spend it with her. The police confirmed images of Joey walking down the street swinging a bottle. They advised approaching him with extreme caution. We really appreciate you watching. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel with the notification bell because it is really important for us. Thank you.